Hey yo, Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Hashem Yahshua, Hashem Rakakadesh. I want to see apostles and elders, GreatMillStone real well, man, and Shalom. To all the brothers out there doing the work, you know, sincerely and in truth. Got a little lesson here, just pretty much just going to be going into like how Jake have a rebellious spirit, and pretty much, you know, they don't want to fall in order. Because it's, hey man, that's the theme of the moment, man. It's like that rebellious spirit that Jake has. Really, the Lord's gonna take guys out, man. You know, everyone's got a role to play in this thing, man. The orders have been set down by, you know, by the apostles, man. You know, 3 videos a week you gotta go out. So that's pretty much a thing where it's like you're rebelling against that. Then, really, you got no place in this thing. And it's the same for like with the doctrine as well, man. With the doctrine, that's not something you can play with. You've basically it's Jake really don't like being just they like basically having it their own way, man. They want to be able to spin it their own way, and it's been that way from the beginning, man. Jake don't like to fall in line. They just basically want to be able to deal with you know, the truth however they feel in the moment. But okay, let me start on this, man. Proverbs 1:5, it says, "A wise man will hear and will increase learning. A man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels." To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. It says what? A wise man will hear and will increase learning. So that's part of that is being rebuked, man. Hearing rebuke, basically having to like and that's a big part, man. A big part of being in this truth is basically you having to deal with all your shortcomings and having to work on and correct those, man. Striving to become that perfect man, not, you know, trying to just, okay, then you have a shortcoming that just becomes part of the doctrine. And it says, to understand the proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. And how do you you know, how do you even get the understanding of this book? Because it's not like you can just read it and get the understanding of this book. The Spirit of the Lord has to be dealing with you, man. And it says what? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So you got to fear the Lord before anything else, man. And that's something that a lot of guys are lacking, man. Fear of the Lord. You really got to fear, like, you're going out there. You're like, hey, man, if you're out there going off, you really have to fear that the Lord can just actually just wipe you out at any moment, which you really can do, man. If that's got to be a central post, like in what you're believing in. If you know, if you're really dealing with this thing, man, because if you don't have any fear of the Lord, you're just gonna be going out there doing whatever, man. Completely, like, with no boundaries within the no boundaries in the world. You're basically just gonna be like one of these these confused blacks out in the world, and you're just gonna be open to anything, man. I'll read this. Isaiah chapter 1 and 1 and 3. It says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. Our sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord, they have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backwards. That's you know, Israel is basically Jake. The thing is applies in this truth as well. You got guys that are rebelling to this day. This is really, it's, you know, the big problem with Jake is they basically, the thing is from the beginning, they've known it's like, you got to be dealing with the scriptures. This is, you go back to the times of Isaiah. Bruv, these motherfuckers knew they were Israelites. They knew they were meant to be following the law. They were still going off and doing off shit, man. They were still following after other gods. Still doing all forms of wickedness. Being black devils. And then the thing is what do you call that? Now it's like these guys are just looking at themselves like they're just African Americans or blacks. So then, how much more so that then they're just completely out there, man. And it says what? They've gone away backwards. That's because really it's a backwards mentality of thinking. You're just going to be out there basically just open to all the channel. Thing is you actually have been given the ultimate wisdom on the planet Earth. First off, you've been given like the direct channel to all to the truth. And then you're just going to be thinking, you're just going to basically just forsake that for some garbage like worldly wisdom, so-called worldly wisdoms. That's just, you know, that is backwards. You've got the ultimate treasure, the breakdown of everything, the understanding of all things, and then you're really just gonna chuck that way and go back into the world. You know, that is a backwards move. Think about how these elites are moving, man. These elites, they've accomplished a diligent research. They're not even, they've clung to the wisdom that Satan's basically, well, the Lord really is open up to them through Satan, and they're basically trying to use this to attain the planet, man. They're trying to attain the world, attain that eternal reign. But then you get Jake's get this wisdom, and just like, no, but I'm just Egyptian. No, I'm just a black. No, but how are we gonna take down the white man though? You know, just becoming an ignorant fuck. That is going away backwards, man. It says, why should ye have stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. The whole head is sick, man. So these Jakes are done, man. A lot of these Jakes, they're in no position to receive the truth. And it's basically, they don't want to fall in line, man. The thing is, you can't, brother, anything on the planet Earth, brother, it works in order, man. It's only the so-called white man has basically got this society now running just pure confusion and a hot mess. And really that just only applies to the sheeple that he's gonna abuse and turn into cattle. He sees them as beasts, as animals. He's looking at amongst the elites. They conduct themselves in order. It's only on the lower level where you've got these guys moving like beasts. And 2/3 of these Jakes, man, they're completely gone. They're sick. They're not gonna fall in line. They're not gonna be able to conduct themselves in order. And they're really not gonna. They're not even gonna be able to come to the fullness of the truth, man. Any guy that ain't worthy that comes in, basically he was never really in the truth, man. Oh yeah. Let me read this. 1 Samuel 15:23. It says, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as the iniquity and as iniquity and idolatry. So rebellion, basically not playing your role and doing what you've been commanded to be doing, is equivalated with witchcraft, which really is. Because you look out here, a lot of what goes on out here on a low level with these sheeple is witchcraft, man. That rebellion, basically having women coming out of order, having men not playing a role, being homosexuals, being transgenders, all these different aspects of the society they've got going on, confusion, trying to promote equality. All this is really rebellion, and it is witchcraft, man. To be trying, because the thing is that's just completely off, man. You're dealing with some demons all up in your spirit to be trying to mess with that, man. You're going completely off. And it says, what? Stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. And Jake is real stiff-necked, man. Jake is one of the most stiff-necked motherfuckers on the planet Earth. You can be on the street trying to break this down to a Jake. Jake don't want to hear shit. You can give it to them backwards, forwards, inside, outside. They're still going to find a problem. They're still going to find something to talk shit about, man. And, man, that's just... that's mad, man, because it's like that stubbornness is ridiculous. You can have a Jake, he's like, yeah, but no. He knows in his mind it makes sense, but he's still going to rebel because he's just a stubborn, stiff-necked fuck. That's a characteristics of Jakes, man. Being stiff-necked, that's one of the biggest characteristics, man. Because Jake, you know, Jake's having a laugh out here. It says, what? Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he will also reject thee from being king. So just like, what's his name? Saul got rejected from being king, man. And he basically rejected the word of the Lord. He's like, you know what? I hear what you're saying. But man need these sacrifices and that. Man need Agags and that. Man basically was thinking, he was, you know, he thought he was better than the word of the Lord. He wasn't really in line. He wasn't really in order. And that's something you have. That's why you have that house of Saul, man. That house of Saul where you got them rebellious elements, man. Because it's been the theme from the beginning, man. That rebellious element. The Lord ain't dealing with that rebellion, man. You've had rebellions various times from Moses. You've had rebellions throughout the scriptures, man. And them guys, they get wiped out, man. The Lord ain't dealing with no rebellion. They ain't no a guy's just going to be coming in, you know, being a rebellious fuck. And the Lord's, I had my chosen, but I'm just going to deal with him. Because, you know, he's just rebelling against the one the Lord set up. But then it's like, you got to be in order, man. That's something that Jake don't like. Jake don't like having to basically be told what to do and not being the top done dada. Every Jake on the planet Earth wants to be the top done dada. But the Lord ain't dealing with that, man. Man, they ain't no Jake on the planet Earth that can take Yahushua's place, man. So you've already lost from the beginning, man. That's why these Jakes. That's how much of a fucking demon a Jake is, man. You're gonna have a Jake trying to take Yahushua's place when the only reason he's even gonna have an inkling of getting a touch of a blessing is because of what Yahushua did. You know, that's just a demonic, a Luciferian spirit, man. That's completely off, man. That's completely off, and that's what the Jakes out here are dealing with, really. That's actually what they're dealing. You know, that's straight madness, man. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest unto me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. And that's a bit, you know, leading into that rebellion is basically a lack of knowledge. And where does that lack of knowledge come from, man? It goes back to what? No fear of the Lord. If you ain't got fear of the Lord, then you can't attain wisdom, man. If you're running around thinking you can just, you know, dive out of a plane with a parachute and everything's going to be alright just because, you know, technology and advancements and blah. But that means you don't fear the Lord, man. You know, if you think, you know, if you're basically living in a completely carnal mind state and then you just think like, you know, everything's good, you know, science and technology, all that bullshit. Bro, you need the fear of the Lord to even start to come onto wisdom. And really it's you need to be chosen as well, because even you need to be. The Lord has to basically decide to allow it, like to even allow you to have that fear, man, so that you can attain that wisdom. Because he's you know, there's men that have had their eyes closed and their ears shut, man, to the truth, so they can't be converted and be healed. So you have to be of the elect, basically. It says, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest unto me. And a vast amount of these Jakes have rejected knowledge. That's you know, man. Imagine man have been on the street. The apostles have been out for forever times, man. Apostles have been out for years, decades. Actually been out for decades. So you're gonna have guys that have just been in the ends, grimy old farts. Like, yeah, that motherfucker come up to camp, the Muslim named Slipback. That motherfucker who's just, you know, he's just about shows and entertainment and just, you know, novelty. Basically, what is it? He's, you know, he rejected knowledge because he said, oh, I've seen you guys on the streets, blah, blah. So he's chosen, no, I'm just going to go with this Islam thing. Because he you know, that means that the Lord ain't going to be, the Lord's going to just toast a guy like that. The Lord ain't down with rebellion, man. That's why, you know, bruv, the Lord actually just wiped out everyone on the planet Earth except for 8 souls at one point. Like, that's how raw the Lord's getting in. But, you know, you got guys that's, oh, you rebellious assholes, man. And it says what, and thou shalt, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest unto me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the Lord, the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. And that's the laws, Jay don't like dealing with the law, man. As soon as these guys aren't dealing with, bruv, they don't like dealing with the law. Because that's basically requires structure, discipline, things that niggas don't like dealing with, man. Basically having to, you know, stand for something like a man. That's something that girding up them loins. That's something that Jake don't like dealing with. And it says what, as they were increased, so they sinned against me, therefore will I change their glory into shame. So, and that's something that happens as well. You know, Jake starts to get, it's even like a lot of these guys that come into the truth, which ain't really in the truth. It's what they you know, they get a little, they start getting little bits of little nuggets of certain little things, certain bits of the truth, and they start feeling like they're all of a sudden just the ultimate God. That they're just the original salt, like, you know, like the Lord actually just came and started dealing with them directly. They start feeling a bit too special about themselves, which really, you know, that's just, you know, the Lord is not dealing with that at all, man. The Lord just ain't dealing with people in that spirit at all. It says, they eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priests, and I'll punish them for their ways and reward them for their doings. So all that rebellion, the Lord basically said he's going to punish you, he's going to deal with you based on, you know, all that these men have been doing. Because that's, you know, bruv, that's completely against the scriptures. You're just going to be trying to just, and the thing is throughout, you've got countless examples throughout the Bible as well. So it's just a thing where it's just like you're having a laugh, really, if you're trying to deal with that. Like it says, for they shall eat and not have enough; they shall commit whoredom and shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed to the Lord. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. So basically, the Lord ain't going to be dealing with them with no. The Lord's basically just going to cut off all you know, all hope, all so-called building up these guys are trying to do, and just make none of that even happen, man. This is what my people. No. It says whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. So yeah, whoredom and wine and that new wine, that's all these off criminal philosophies, man. These guys get into, and it takes away what the mind, the heart is a mind, man. So that's all these, you know, getting into all that BS. Really, all it does is just make you confused in the end, man. You don't really know what's going on. And it says what my people ask counsel with their stocks, and their staff declareth unto them. For the spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err, and they have gone a whoring from under their power. So yeah, that's it. man are looking everywhere but the truth for the answer, and lo and behold, it's not being found. Which that's another big theme of Jake, man. Jake will start it's like they know what come with the truth, but then they just all of a sudden they just don't want to deal with absolutely anything that man is saying. They're just not trying to deal with any, because the thing is, the scriptures are plain to the point, and quite clean, man. All that rebellious, all that BS you're trying to like bring into it, the scriptures cut and have already cut before, man. So that's why it's just like, bruv, it's a joke, man. It's a joke. Let me read this back in Proverbs 1, start from verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Yeah, that's it, man. Simple. It's really, really like, if you're in that rebellious spirit, like you're really being simple, and you're basically just trying to make it, you're really just trying to climb up your own way, some booky sideways route. That's all you're really trying to do. If if you're basically going through that rebellious method, and it says what? And scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Fools hate knowledge, man. You ain't got that fear. If you ain't got the fear of the Lord, then you really do hate knowledge, man, and you're not going to be able to attain it, man. Because it says what? It lines up with Psalms, man. It says what the fool have said in his heart, there is no God. So really, it's like, if you don't believe there's a power to fear, then really, bruv, you ain't got any wisdom, man. What can a guy like that tell you what's going on? He's gonna be talking about, evolution. This guy's gonna be telling you about evolution, which is a goddamn theory. It says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I will make known my words unto you. And a lot of these guys ain't going to turn at the reproof, man. A lot of guys don't even like to hear reproof. That's why it's like, yo, the apostles are getting onto guys, and they ain't even taking no lessons to it from themselves. They're just like, bruv, they're just going to keep going in their booky off path. And it says what, because I have called and ye refuse, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would have none of my reproof. So that's it, man. And the thing is the Lord uses men as well to send them words out. That's another thing guys don't like. And it says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. So the Lord said, I'll mock when your fear cometh. So that means that he's basically, create them situations where you're going to learn the fear, man. And it's going to be too late. Because a lot of guys got into that situation where it's like, when the judgment is passed, every man knows the fear then. But, this is basically the Lord giving you the chance beforehand, man. And it says, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer, and they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So that's it. It's because really you're not coming early. Really, like, the Lord's been reproving you from day dot, but you've pretty much you're not even hearing that. You're not even dealing with that. And it says what they shall not. Okay, yeah. Verse 29. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. So yeah, you hate knowledge, and it's basically, that's actually the key point. You didn't deal with the fear of the Lord. That's it. Imagine it's just that amazingly simple of a point, man. You just got to fear the Lord, and basically then he'll start dealing with you. But hey, man, a lot of guys, they've been incapable of doing such, man. Completely incapable. That's why it's all about the elect, man. It's all about the elect. The Lord's got his chosen men, and those are the ones he's dealing with, man. So yeah, I'll leave it there, man. I'll leave it there. Say, all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahshua, Hashem,